ByVal versus ByRef function in VB scripting. It is also called pass by value versus pass by reference, or call by value versus call by reference. So same thing has different names. So this is what I will give hands-on example on this tutorial video: ByVal and ByRef differences. Difference between ByVal and ByRef function in HP UFT or HP QTP or VB scripting. That is what the topic of this tutorial video. My name is MD Shahajada Imran. Also, I have a nickname that is Lemon. So welcome to this tutorial video. So I have one script open, and that is HP UFT script UFT. Now before I explain the differences, I want to explain some basics so it will be easier for us to understand the differences. Function. So what is function in VB script or HP UFT? Function is a block of code that can be called by a name. So I have created one function in the script. Function starts on line number 12 and ends on line number 20. This is the function. Function is a block of code. This is the block of code that can be called by a name. This is the name, and it has input parameters. In the function, these two are input parameters, and when I'm calling the function, these two are input arguments. So this is a function. This is a function that is called on line number 7. This is where I call the function. So this block of code has been called by the line number 7. So that is function. Function is a block of code that can be called by a name. So this is the block of code that is called by its name. This is the name. And it also has input parameters, which is called input argument when I'm calling, and also has function and end function keywords. This is the function, and this is the end function keywords. So now we know what is function. Function is a block of code that can be called by a name, and function can return value, but which is not I am explaining in this video. It is not the topic of this video. So we know what is function. Now, local variable. Local variable. So what is local variable? Variables which are declared within a function or sub-procedure and can be accessed by the function or sub-procedure only where it is declared, those are local variable. So in this function, I have two local variables, this one and this one. These are within the function, inside of the function. So I have two local variables, this one and this one. This is local variables which are declared within a function and can be accessed by the function only where it is declared. So I could have x, y, and I could have x, y, x, y here also. And now so now we know what is local variable. Local variables are variables which are inside of a function. Inside, this is the function. Function starts on line number 12 and ends on line number 20. So these two are local variables, and this and global variable. Global variable. Global variables are variables which are declared within an action and can be accessed by the entire action. So if I go to the test, I see in my script I have one action. And if I open the action, double click, so action has been opened. So if I go there, I have declared these two variables. These are global actions because I have declared within an action. So variables which are declared within an action and can be accessed by the entire action, that is global variable. So now we know global variable, also know local variable. Local variables which are inside of the function, and global variable which are outside of the function but within an action. That is global variable. And life of local variable. So what is life? Life means when a variable born and when a variable die. The entire, from the birth to the death, the entire journey is called life. So when the local variable born and when the local variable die, that is the life of a local variable. So when a function is called, at that time a copy of the function is created in the memory. So at the line number 7, when this function is called, immediately this and these local variables are created in the memory, and then these values are assigned into those memory space. And then when the control come out from the line number 7 and goes to the line number 8, that time these two variables dies. So that is the life of local variables. When the function is called, immediately those local variables are created in the memory, and when the control comes out from the function call and moves to the next step of the action, then those local variables die. So that is the life of local variable. Normally we say local variables has life or scope within a function or sub-procedure where it is declared. And global variables life or scope. Life of global variable. Global variable. So same thing, when a global variable born and when a global variable die, that is the life. So when I declare a global variable, those global variables are born in the memory. And when the script execution comes out from the action, if I had two action, for now in this particular scenario I have only one action. What if I had two actions? Then when the script execution comes out from action 1 then and moves to the action 2, when comes out from the action 1, then global variable dies. So that is the life of a global variable. So global variable born or get birth when I declare inside of the action. The moment I declare, the moment the line number 1 executes, at that time global variable born in the memory. And then at the end of the script, when all the line of the scripts executed and the script exits out from the action and moves to the next action, then at the time of the script exiting action 1, at that time that global variables die. So now we also know what is the life of a global variable and what is the life of a local variable. Now the script I have, the script I have, So I have one script there. I declare two global variables and initialize two values into these two global variables. And then I call this function, and the function, whatever code inside of the function, that gets executed, and then script exits out from the function and move to the next step, which is 8. There is no line of codes, and then move to the 9. There is a print statement, and move to 10, and then it prints this, the addition of two global variables, 8 and 4 comes 14. The addition of these two global variables. Let me comment out this one and also comment out this function. So I commented out this function. Now what I have in this script, I just declared two global variables and initialized two integer values and printed the addition of these two values. So if I run it, it will print these two global variables addition. So 8 and 4 is 12. Let me see one thing. Okay, so it printed 12. 8 and 4 is 12. Now I uncomment this function. Uncommented out this function. And also uncomment this function call. Now before printing this line, this function is getting called. When this function is getting called, this line will be printed. So the value I'm passing two variables, A and B. These variables will be added two more. So whatever the value this variable has, A has 6, A has 4 and 2, total 6 will be assigned here, and B has 8 plus 2, 10 will be assigned here. So 10 and 6, 16 will be printed when this line number prints. When the line number 19 prints, 16 will be printed here, and when the line number 4, 12 supposed to print there, but 16 will print, which I will explain why it prints 16 for now. Let me run it. It prints 16 each. But based on the definition I have given, this is supposed to print 12 because the addition of these two global variable comes 12 and the addition of these two local variable comes 16. Now this is the script I have. So I have explained the preconditions, what I have. I've explained what is function, what is local variable, what is global variable, what is the life of local variable, what is the life of global variable. Also the script I have. So now I will go to the references. The first one I will explain, this one I will explain. This one I will explain. So in ByVal function, I use ByVal keyword along with variable name as input parameter during creating the function. So when I'm creating the function, this is where I am creating the function. This is where I created the function. And this is where I called that function. So when I'm creating the function, then this variable and this variable is called input parameter. When I'm calling the function, this variable and this variable are called input argument. Now, so along with the variable name as input parameter during creating the function. So I will use ByVal keyword. So this is where I'm creating the function. This is the variable. Along with the variable, I will also use ByVal. And also I use ByVal. So along with this variable name, I'm also using ByVal keyword as the input parameter. Entire thing is first input parameter. So when I'm creating the function, I am using this keyword along with the variable name as input parameter. So that is in ByVal function. So let me run it and see what happens. Before running it, I tell it should print here, it should print 16, and here it should print 12, because it will add this to global number. Global number has 8 and 4, that is 12, and this line will print two local numbers, which is 6 and 10, which is 16. So I'm running it and see what happens. So it printed 16 for addition of two local numbers. When this line printed, this line got printed, and it printed 16 from adding these two local numbers. And when this line printed, this line got printed, and it printed the addition of two global numbers. And these two global variables assigned numbers. So that comes 12 and this comes 16, because this is ByVal function. Now if it is ByRef function, instead of val, I write ByRef. The same way, in ByRef function, I use ByRef keyword along with variable name as input parameter during creating the function. Same way, I am creating the function. This is where I'm creating the function. At the time of function creation, I need to give I'm giving two input parameters. This is the first input parameter. This is the second input parameters. In the input parameter, along with the variable name, I'm also giving a keyword, and that would be ByRef. 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 So when I'm giving ByRef, this local variable is not holding the value. It is holding reference. When I'm giving ByRef, it is not holding the value. Previously, when I gave ByVal, these two local variables were holding values. Whatever value I'm passing, that was holding in these variables, and then printed in this line after adding these two numbers. But now I am creating a function where I am giving ByRef as input parameter. So this time this local variable is not holding value. This time local variable is holding reference. Many other programming languages it is called pointer, but in VBScript we call reference. So this variable is holding reference to the global variable. So this variable is pointing to this global variable. This is a local variable. This local variable is pointing to the global variable. So this value will be changed. So this value will be 6 and this value will be 10. Because this variable is not holding value, it's holding a pointer which will point in this variable, and this variable's value will be changed. Therefore, instead of 12, this line also will print 16. When I write ByVal and ByVal here also, then this line prints 12. But now, since I wrote ByRef, this line will print 16, because these two variable, this local variable did not hold value. It pointed to this variable, and this variable value has changed. So let me run it and see what happens. So it printed 16. So when this line printed, this line got printed, and it printed 16, and this 16 comes not from here. That 16 comes by adding these two numbers, because these two number has been increased in these two line. When these two line 15 and 16 executes, when this function is called, this function called this function, when this function is called in this line number, when the line number 7 executes, that time these two line also executes, and that time these two variables value has been increased. And then when this line printed, it printed the addition of these two. That's why it's 16, and this one also 16, because this value has been increased by this function call. Now it was if it was by val, there here would have 12, but now it is 16. So I have explained this one. So I will change the color to green. That means I have explained. Now this one I will explain now. So the variables I pass to ByVal function as input argument, those variables has local scope, and the variable that I pass in ByRef, those variable has global scope, because it is pointing to global variables. The local variables, these local variables are pointing to global variable when I pass by reference. So let me do for ByVal. Here also I put ByVal. Now I explain what happens line by line. So when line number 1 executes, dim A and B, when I declared two global variables, what happens? In the memory, two variable has been created. One variable's name is A, other variable's name is B. Both are global variable. And I just give a random number. This variable's address is 1045, and the variable B's address is 1070. The moment this line executes, in the memory, two variable has been created, and variable has its name, also has address. So this is the name is A, address is 1045, and the other variable's name is B, address is 1070. Now when this two line executes, line number 4, when line number 4 executes, let's say when the line number 4 executes, then this 4 value has been assigned into this variable. Now this variable has three things. One is the name of the variable, the address of the variable, and the value of the variable. And the a global variable's value is 4. When this line executes, the 8 has been assigned to the global variable b. So this is the global variable b, this is the variable's name, and this is the address, and this is the value. Now script exits out from line number 5, and now script is executing line number 7. When the line number 7 executes, it calls this function. When this function is called, I'm passing this variable, this global variable, as input argument, and this global variable also as input argument. So when this function is called, a copy of this function has been created in the memory. So these two variable has been created in the memory immediately. When the line number executes, these two memory got created immediately. So if I scroll down, those are good. Now this is the local scope. Inside local variable, this a is local variable, and this a is global variable. This v is local variable, and this v is global variable. So even though there is a conflict with the name, but those are two separate variables. Those variable has different address. Now this address, these variables, this is the name. Local variable's name is a, and local variable's address is 4578. I just give a random number. This global variable's address is 1045, but local variable a, which address is 4578, means different. Those two variables are different. So the moment this function is called in the memory, these two variables are created, variable a and variable b, that has a different address. Both variable has different address. And now when this line number 15 executes, it assigns 6 into this variable, into this local variable. This is the local scope, local variable a. So 6 has been assigned. Global variable has 4. This is the global variable, and I added 2 more. So 6 has been assigned to the local variable, and therefore it is 6 now. And then same way it has 10, 8. This is the global variable b has the value 8. This is the global variable, this is the local variable, and global variable 8 plus 2, 10. 10 has been assigned to this local variable. This is the local variable who has a different address. And then the global variable b. Global variable b has this address, and local variable b has a different address. So those are different variables in the memory location. Even though name is same, but variables are different. And this value has been assigned to the local variable b. 10 has been assigned. Now it will print this line. It will print this line. So what it will print? It will print addition of these two value, 10 and 6, 12. I mean 16. 10 and 6, 16. So it will print 16 when this line number execute, and then control will come out from the function. Script execution will end executing line number 7 and move to line number 8. The moment control comes out from line number 7, the moment control comes out from this function or move to line number 8, then this entire things got automatically erased in the memory. This entire thing automatically erased from the memory. These two variables has been removed from the memory or deleted from the memory or removed or cleared from the memory. So these two variables are doesn't exist in the memory anymore. The moment a script exits out from line number 7, because this is a local variable and this variable has life uh, within the function. When the function execution ends, these variables are erased or removed from the memory location. Now what this line will print? This line will print this two values addition, which is 8 and 4, that is 12. So this line will print 16 and this line will print 12 when I am using ByVal, because the value here in the temporary memory location value has been stored, and when the script execution comes out from the function call, those entire two variables has been removed. Now that is what I am explained, this part that I have explained. Now if I run it, I will see inside 16 is printed and outside 12 will be printed. So outside 12 printed and inside 16 printed, and why it printed I have explained. Now if I put ByRef by reference, then this is what I will be explaining now. If I put ByRef, then what happens? This is what I will be explaining now. So when I am putting ByRef, so same thing, when this did not change, when script is running from the beginning, it will allocate memory space, a memory location for these two variables. That will be like this. Name is A, this is the address. Name is B, this is the address, has no value yet. I just declared it. When I declared it, two global variable has been created in the memory location. And then when I assign these two variables into these two global variables, the value has been assigned. This is the variable name, this is the variable value, and this is the address. Now when I call this function, a copy of this function has been created in the memory, and this time it will look like this. So it is the copy inside, it is not holding the value. This time it is holding a reference to 1045. It is pointing to this variable. This one is pointing to this variable, and this variable is pointing to this global variable. So this local variable pointing to this global variable, and this local variable pointing to this global variable, pointing to 1070. This is the global variable B, and it is 1045. If I scroll up, I will see the global variable A is address is 1045. and the global variable b, which address is 1070. So it is reference to this pointer to this. It is holding the pointer or reference to that global variable, to this address, and b also pointing to this address. This local variable is pointing to this address. So now when this variable has, this is a global variable, this is local variable. This global variable is 4 plus 2, 6. 6 has been, this variable did not hold. It pointed to this variable, so this value has been overwritten. Now this value is 6. When this line, when this 15 line executes, this value becomes 6. It's not 4 anymore. And then this local variable also, this global variable has the value 8. When I pass this global variable add 2 more, so 8 plus 2, 10. This value, this temporary b variable or the local variable did not hold. It pointed to this global variable. It redirected to this global variable. Then this value has been overwritten. 8 has been removed and 10 has been put in there. So 8 has been removed and 10 has been put in there. The 1070, this is the global variable's address. Initially it was 8, but it has been updated or replaced by 10. 8 has been removed and 10 has been put. There also 4 has been removed and 6 has been put. Therefore, so since when I put reference, and then when this script comes out from the line number 7, this has been erased. This has been, the entire local scope has been removed or erased from the memory. Everything has been erased from the memory. So this variable in this address, nothing exists. And this is the global variable that has new value. This address and this address, this address 1045 belongs to this variable, not this variable. It belongs to this variable, and this variable has a new value which is 6. And this also address 1070, this address belongs to this variable, and this variable has a new value 10. And this line is printing the addition of these two value, and this two value is not 4 and 6 anymore, it's 6 and 10 now. So this line is printing 16, and this line also printing 16 before exiting out from the function. Before exiting out from the function, it is also printing 16. So this is why both line is printing 16. Previously, when I put ByVal, this line printed 16 and this line printed 12. But when I put ByRef, both are printing 16 each. And this, now let me run it and see what happens. So both printed 16. So I also gave hands-on example of this topic. Now ByRef is the default value. What is ByVal is not the default value. ByRef is the default value. What it means? Well, it means if I do not write either ByRef or ByVal, I leave it empty. Then QTP or UFT or VB script will think ByRef is written by default. ByRef is written if I do not clearly, explicitly write either ByVal or ByRef, then ByRef is written by default. So therefore both will print 16. If I do not write anything and run it, then UFT will think ByRef is written. So that means ByRef is the default value. Let me run it and see. So both printed 16. That proves that ByRef is the default value. ByRef is the default value. ByVal is not the default value. So I have explained everything, very high level. I hope I was able to explain everything in very high level. Thank you for watching.